Now, I will preface this topic. By saying I am currently unconvinced. Okay? I'm currently unconvinced that there's any truth to this. But obviously, it's extremely popular conversation on Twitter, or X, sorry, and even has Ron Johnson out there talking about perhaps a second person involved in the incident that happened with Trump last weekend. Again, for obviously my videos are available everywhere, and I would prefer you watch them on the Mean Green site. However, if it's on a different platform, I'm glad you're just tuning in, and I want to be clear. I am not saying this is a fact. I am saying it's a very popular theory going around right now. And when Ron Johnson brings it up, it's pretty interesting. So the ongoing theory is that there is a second person that day. And this story is absolutely wild. I want to remind everyone, my company, Coffee Brand Coffee, we are not a drop ship operation. We roast our own stuff, ultra small batch. We fulfill our own orders. We have full-time employees that need your support. We have 4 summer flavors. I just released s'mores and orange creamsicle, as well as our hazelnut churro and blackberry cream coffee. We obviously available in whole bean and ground. Also, we have all sorts of non-flavored coffees available. We have K-Cups. We have decaf. We have a huge product line. The best way you can support, if you don't want to, you want to get something for your support, go to coffeebrandcoffee.com and try our delicious summer flavors. Senator Ron Johnson. Now, this is via the Rolling Stone. Again, I am not convinced, but it's my job to report, stories to you. And it's my job to be honest. So I have not been convinced that, there's some sort of, there's a second person, but let's see. The water tower thing to me is completely baloney sausage, but hold on. Senator Ron Johnson irresponsibly spread an unsubstantiated theory that there was a second person on that day. Law enforcement has not uncovered any proof of another person. Well, they haven't uncovered any proof of anything. They have not uncovered any proof of anything, right? They're like, he looked up prom that day, right? And it's also not the only thing Johnson said. They're trying to reduce what Ron Johnson said to essentially this little, just a little soundbite to try and discredit everything else he said. Okay, but we're going to get to that in a second. They write, law enforcement has not uncovered any proof. Was it one rifle? Was it more than one? Republican senator said on Fox News Sunday Morning. Futures with Maria Bartiromo. Quote, I've seen some pretty interesting videos on the internet by experts that certainly calls into question what the FBI is telling us about a single person. Now, the video he's referencing is from what I can tell, it's someone who uses waveforms. That is like a sound file, and can like expertly figure out whether or not, he can figure out the distance, the size of a room. He can figure out. He's very, very smart. It's wild. Quote, the quote, pretty interesting video Johnson is referring to maybe blurry footage of a water tower near the site in Pennsylvania where it happened. This footage has circulated in conspiracy circles on X, Reddit, and YouTube. It shows a water tower and a dark spot near the tower's vent that theorists claim is a second person. An eyewitness also said on Fox News that she believed there was another person, mentioning the other person that she heard was by the water tower. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I am not convinced by this, but that doesn't mean anything. Maybe it is, maybe it's true, maybe it isn't. I'm just here to report on it. To me, it looks like a visual artifact in the video file that just happens to be ultra low quality. And they're using this to kind of obfuscate what Ron had said. According to CBS News and experts they interviewed, the videos, quote, do not show a person on top of the tower. Additionally, law enforcement included the Secret Service, FBI, and local officers, as well as members of the media with other eyewitnesses' account that all point to just the one guy. Now, this is also some of the other information. Remember now, 51 former intelligence officials showed us exactly who we can trust. Holy smokes, it's all about to get interesting. Senator Ron Johnson refers to there's a second person and a mystery ATF agent that's now gone dark. July 13th, this is a tweet from MJ Truth Ultra. So again, you know, it's a watchdog researcher. July 13th, Secret Service did not attend the 9 a.m. security meeting with local law enforcement. Law enforcement wasn't even on the same security channel, and the sniper and SWAT teams were not on the same channels as patrol officers and Secret Service. 10:30 a.m. in the morning, local PD team told to secure the perimeter of the AGR building. No one told them where to go, so they set up on the second floor. At 5:14 p.m., the local sniper team took photos of the loser in the AGR building. Why wasn't he intercepted? The photos were taken at 5:14 p.m. Trump was on stage over almost an hour later. A preliminary report that will be released to solicit more eyewitnesses' testimonies. If you have any videos, save it. Now, was it one rifle? Was it more than one? There are 3 distinct sounds early on, followed by 5 more rapidly. How do you explain that? Well, you can explain that by saying more than one of the officers, eliminated the threat, right? That's probably what happened. More than one of these law enforcement people returned fire. That's probably the case. Again, I'm not here to disprove anything. I'm not here I'm just here to present the information as we have it, because that's what my job is. You see here, I've got a new hero for America. You see this, the agent crouches on the slope tower and appears to have a weapon. If we look at this video,
take a look at what happened.
This does not look like a human being. It looks like a shadow or a video artifact. What you're seeing in this video is really what happens when you use an immense amount of digital zoom to zoom in on something. Now you see in this picture on the left, there seems to be maybe now here's another clip, other angles processing. Most people think we have clearer UFO pictures. I don't know. I'm not here to try and convince people that this is real. I'm here to say that this is what people are talking about. If you look, here's the water tower. I'm going to turn off the sound. Other angles processing. You just see like that. It could be the shadow of something, right? It really could be. I got to be honest with you, to get up there, first of all, let's talk about a couple things. This was not a great spot. This is not a great spot to pick. I mean, why would you go all the way up on a water tower? Why would you go all the way up on a water tower 300 or 400 yards out, if I'm correct, right? This was an enormously long shot. Even the best of the best would struggle to hit this shot, okay? I mean, there are a million other tree lines and all other things. We know if they're going to try to tell me that this is an FBI agent or Secret Service, we can definitely say that they weren't there, because that's a pretty heavy slant. And we know people can't walk on slanted roofs. It would also be extremely windy up that high. I don't buy it. I don't think that there's anything that I'm seeing in these videos. You can see here that it looks like perhaps there's some artifacts, in the video. I'm not, I can't definitively debunk it. I can't. But you see a lot of the comments, probably an irrelevant. It's probably fake, but it's also irrelevant if true, because the main issue is, before we even start arguing about how many people were there, is that we know that at least one of them, was there, and the Secret Service just let him walk around. We also know that 300 yards, if that's what it was, is not impossible for a well-trained person. If you're really well-trained and you practice that kind of shot, that kind of stuff, 300 yards is not crazy, okay? But you can see here, there's definitely a natural shadow there on top. What makes me wonder about it is the moving portion of the shadow appears to be capable of casting its own shadow further down the water. A low-resolution video that's really convenient should probably be ignored. So far, it's just been blurred, shaky, long distance, possibly AI alerted video. I don't know. I just don't see it. I think that, zoomed in, once you zoom in and compress that image, you get all sorts of artifacts in the video, especially when you're using digital zoom. If there was a second person there, we definitely don't have a second body, right? We know that. And quite frankly, I think of this story, some of the responses to it are the best is that, sure, Ron Johnson talked about seeing this footage and things of that nature. I don't care if there was a second. I don't care if there was a third. I don't care if there was 18 of them. What I know is that the Secret Service knew about at least one of them like an hour beforehand, and they let Trump walk out there anyway. That's the real takeaway here, right? They let him walk out there anyway. That's really what happened.